Let's do it. I speak about this, and people ask me what I mean by this. So what I mean by this is this. This that is what is, what's happening, what's going on, what's appearing, whichever phrase you like the sound of. And then you say, well, yeah, but what is this? Just what seems to be going on, what seems to be appearing, what seems to be happening, what seems to be. Here's the thing about what is. You can't know what is. There isn't. This is the non-dual bit. You are not a witness, an observer, a seer, a knower of what is. What you've called you is just more of what is. It's not separate from what is. What is not in parts. There are no parts. This is complete and whole. This isness is all that is and isn't. You can only know the is. There's no knowing isn't. There's nothing to know. So you've probably heard a lot of other speakers speak about the illusory nature of what is. So this is just a dream, a dreamt reality. That's not what I want to say at all. This appearance is all there is. This appearance is what is. This seeming to happen is all there is. There is nothing behind it. There's nothing more. There's nothing less, nothing higher, nothing lower, nothing deeper. I don't know how hard you looked for what was behind the veil. What I'm suggesting is there's just the veil and nothing behind it. So there isn't anything hiding. Everything is in plain sight. You could say nothing is hiding, but you can't find nothing. There's nothing to find. So you can only find what is. And that takes no finding at all. It's ever present. Always. Always. No exclusion. Nothing outside. Nothing inside. So this that I speak about isn't another this. There isn't another this. If you're looking for another this, that'll be that you're looking for, not this. And self is very good at saying, not this. Now, I understand there's only this, but not this. Not this. I want that this. There isn't that this. So the awakening is no awakening. The enlightenment is no enlightenment. The liberation is no liberation. This is already all light. This is already all free. This is already all there is. And this is already all there isn't. So it's the end of the road. This is the end and the beginning, ever beginning, ever ending, the beginning and the ending, not two. No one's ever found this. There is just this. That's the unconditional love. There's nothing for you to do. There's nothing that can be done about this. There are innumerable stories about what you can do about this, but they're stories about this, not this. Don't get me wrong. These words are just another story about this. It's all stories. And again, that's liberation. You've been trying to know the truth. This is the truth. You've been trying to know reality. This is reality. You've been saying otherwise. You just still fancy your chances of finding it. Self's good at that. Well, some other fuckers have found it. Why shouldn't I? Why should they be the lucky ones? Well, here's the thing. There aren't any lucky ones. And there's no unlucky ones. There is the appearance of good and bad fortune. But again, it's just a story. And this doesn't make the stories wrong. This isn't, I don't know how hard you tried the neti, program. This is the end of any requirement of negation at all. Nothing needs to be negated. This can't be negated. It will leave you very little to do. If you've been a hardcore seeker and you've really wanted to know, this will fuck you right up. Because you won't have a clue what to do. What the fuck am I going to do now? This most dreadfully ordinary liberation. That's no. This isn't what I asked for. I wanted eternal bliss, not just any shit that just turns up. So the search is futile, And quite incredibly, futility seems the basis, the essence of unconditional love. Because there can be no winners, there can be no finders. So of course, if there's no winners and no finders, there can be no losers. If we are all losers, that is unconditional love. But not the one you were probably looking for. Almost certainly not what you were looking for. If you're looking elsewhere. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Got a little bit too much sun.
That's good. No, it's healthy. I say it's good. It's good to have some sun.
Oh, it's been beautiful this week. So my birthday on Monday. I've never had a birthday like that. We've never had 27 degrees or something. Yeah, about that on my birthday in April.
Amazing. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you. I shouldn't be an advocate of global warming, but when it's like that on my birthday, it's hard not to be.
You can't complain.
It's difficult to complain about global warming when the spring in England is suddenly like the summer.
Nice. I so wanted to come to Brighton, at the end it didn't happen. So.
Oh, never mind. Brendan's definitely inviting me back. He was a great host, and we had a lovely meeting.
Nice.
2 days. It was great.
Yeah. Anyway, I was thinking maybe to start with the netty, like
Netty, yeah.
What unconditional love is not.
Say that again.
What unconditional love is not. What is it not?
No, there isn't anything. It's not. I know. That's why no one. I mean, I'm not joking. No one would go in it. All of this communication is unconditional love. Whether it's felt as such or not, it just seems. This is how it seems. There are a tiny, tiny percentage of human beings who can hear that this message of hopelessness, meaninglessness, pointlessness, futility is unconditional love, because it's the antithesis of what 99.9% of human beings perceive to be love. So it doesn't surprise me that hardly anyone hears that Everything about this message is love. The communication is love. It's loving, it's compassionate. It's saying everything is as it is, no matter what you say about it. It says everything you say about it is okay. It says all of the tragedies are okay. It says all of the horrors are okay. Now, self won't go near any of this. And when I say okay, I don't mean good, and I don't mean okay in the sense of preferable. I just mean as they are, and everything is as it is, and it cannot be otherwise. Self will not have it that this couldn't be another way. I have to have this. I demand, self demands that there be possibility. I will not accept that this, not only self might even accept that this is the only possibility, but what I'm suggesting, the whole sense of this message is that this is not a possibility. This is all there is. So of course, if this is all there is, there isn't even one possibility. So the choicelessness of this appearance, regardless of the appearance of choosing, is doubtless, if it's doubtless. And that is the peace that passes all understanding, because you can't argue with it. Arguing with it is all that there is. If there's arguing with it, there's no exception, there's no exclusion. It's the, I don't even know what you asked me now, Sophie.
Me neither. about what unconditional love is not.
Oh, yeah, there isn't anything that it's not. No.
Yeah, but I think that's what's crushing me, because there's no gap, because it's everything. There's no gap.
No.
And
can you say something about that?
Yeah, because it's more and more like, wow, this is also this, and this is also this, and this is also this, and it's like, and then sometimes I can't breathe. It's like, wow, it's even this, and it's even this, and you cannot argue if it's everything. You can't argue with it, and
No.
and like, yeah, as if you cannot go to anywhere. It's like, no.
No, because it's not. Yeah, I mean, it does leave you nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't go places.
No. Thanks God I can. Yeah, but this is really crazy. Like, for me, like, it's beautiful when you talk about unconditional love. I really love that, because it make it more like, you cannot make it tangible, but it's like, and you cannot not say what it's not. So what can you say about that? But still, when you speak about that, it's I don't know. It's like, I think it's positive. It makes things differently, you know. Like, I like it. I like it when you speak about that.
Well, what does seem to happen, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's positive or negative, but there's less arguing. I mean, not only just physically arguing with other human beings, because no one's, I mean, if you're not trying to be right, which I was always, and you've probably had a lifetime of wanting to be right, because
Right.
when there's a essential sense of something is wrong with me, you know, the people who are the most vehement arguers, who love an argument and want to prove their point and be right, they're the ones who feel most wrong.
I admit the crime.
I'm guilty. Oh no, I was incredibly guilty of it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes still, but it's like you cannot stop it. I mean,
No, then there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. However, I mean, it is easier when there's no desire to be right.
Right.
There is no one who's right or wrong. Well, I mean, there you go. If that's not unconditional love, I don't know what is. That every human being is neither right nor wrong. They're just as they are. Isn't that the most beautiful?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I genuinely think if every human being saw other human beings just as they are, you know, as frail and fragile and delicate as a rose, you know, as a flower. And that's what human beings are no different to flowers. And we would never say a flower, you know, we see a flower and it's got a petal missing or it's not quite the right shape. And we would say it's a really ugly flower. Well, we don't say that. And we would never make a flower wrong, is what I mean. Whereas the need for self to be right is powerful in judgment. Then I say that, and then of course there's judgments aren't wrong either. They're unconditional love as well.
Yeah. Just like in relationship, okay, there is no relationship, but still it's like, wow, if you cannot be wrong or right, or no arguments about what's going on. I mean, it's like, it's really the end of the story.
Yeah, I mean, for me, all it turns into is, well, I'd prefer it if you didn't do that, because it fucking annoys me to death. Now, that's a much better starting place than what's wrong with you when you... If everyone just did that, look, the truth is, when you do that, that really pisses me off. Because that's not about the other person at all. It's about your preference. It's about preference. And I'm not saying you'll become some sort of saint where you won't dislike other human beings' behavior. Quite the contrary, really. You'll be more outspoken and more likely to say, I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
But you won't be blaming them for it and saying what you need. You won't be demanding that the other changes. Because there'll be compassion that they are, you know, they are fucking annoying.
Yeah.
They just because someone's really annoying and you know they can't help it doesn't make them not annoying.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
it is beautiful, yeah, really. But I think there's so many, I don't know, in spiritual circles, it's all about acceptance and, you know, and that's not, I'm not talking about any of that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The acceptance
No,
part.
it's dreadful. I tell you what, acceptance, if you try to be accepting when every cell of the body is going, no, I fucking don't want to accept this, but the mind is trying to control it and say, no, it would be much better for me if I was fully accepting. So that's what I am. How much resentment is being built up by that?
That's why they call it. That's why they call it radical acceptance.
Radical acceptance, yeah. So what I'm suggesting is acceptance is no more loving than rejection. That's radical.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing, and there's no. This is the end of the sense that acceptance is right, is good, and rejection is, or repression, rejection, they're all negative, and acceptance, surrender, they're all positive. And this annihilates all of that.
But I think for me, all he has is this acceptance. That's the only thing you can do in this thing, in the dream. Like the only thing you can do is you're trying to accept, but it's not all. It doesn't work all the time. So.
Oh. No, I'm talking. What I'm speaking of is totally natural. So there's liberation for the human being to be naturally the human being that the human being is, and you're mostly at odds with that, or frequently arguing with nature, and wonder why there's so. And virtually all that's, for me, that's the root of all suffering: arguing with nature. And human beings have a nature.
Yeah.
Just like dogs do. What I'm speaking about is seeing human beings as dogs.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing because sometimes I see it like dogs and cats, and it's really.
Yeah, we're just we're dogs who can speak, so we can communicate a little bit in a more complex way. But actually, I mean, we're no different. We're just mammals.
Anyway, thank you,
But
Tim.
we're mammals who are trying to make sense of this. And it feels very compassionate to say, I know you've really tried hard, but it's okay. You can stop now. No one's ever made sense of life. There is no making sense of life. Life is all there is. You are the illusion that you are outside of life, apart from life, to make sense of it. There is no sense to be made. There's no value in making sense of life. Life is utterly indifferent to you and your grandiosity that you can know what the fuck is going on. There is just what is going on. I mean, it includes, I mean, here's the unconditional love. It includes all your efforts to try and make sense of it. There's not, nothing is excluded, of course. But it feels very compassionate to say, I know you've tried hard, but you can stop now.
Especially making sense out of the past. It's like so exhausting. So exhausting.
Yeah, you can stop going. You don't need to go to a therapist anymore and go over your childhood again.
Yes, because I did that for
Now,
one.
you've done that enough. How many hours have you spoken about your relationship with your mother? Enough now.
This is so crazy because I went for 1 year therapy, which helped me but it was like just going over and over and over again. It just never stopped.
Well, I don't know about you, Sophie, but yeah, my therapy was, I just told the same story. It's like, do I have to, do I have to tell this again?
Yeah, but my therapist was pissed off because I told him that I cannot see any inner child anymore, so he didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you did a lot of inner child work. I guess that's.
No, I did it only for 1 year. And
okay.
Yeah, because I started to see that all the patterns just keep repeating, and if I know the pattern, it's quite.
Yeah.
I mean, you're quite done with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will keep coming back, but you cannot stop anything. It's just like.
Now, I'm not saying for those who haven't had any therapy there can't be relative benefit in it at all. I don't want it to be, Tim Cliss says don't ever go to a therapist, but I just know people who have been doing therapy on and off for 30 years, and they're still going over the same fucking ground.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday is dead. I mean, don't be going over the ground of 50 years ago if you've already been there.
Yeah.
There can be, and I mean, if this all repressed, and you could say bringing it into the light can be relatively beneficial. But I just know, you've not just brought it into the light, you've dissected it like a science, you've picked it apart. So, and you've made it too precious, this past that doesn't exist. Self makes the past what I am. I am what I am because of my past. It's simply not true.
And that's it. That's exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give time.
Thanks, Sophie. So to answer your question, so we're clear, there isn't anything that's not unconditional love, no matter how much you want there to be stuff that's not unconditional love. There can be no exclusion at all. And that's unacceptable to me, generally. Me won't have that. Hi, Razia.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. I can hear someone talking.
Yeah, who's not?
I just muted them.
Oh, okay. Thanks, sir.
Well, like while you were talking to Sophie, I was thinking about like we have like a seeming before and after, like to this. Like before, it's like you are in charge. There is a person here that's doing everything, that's in charge, that's has to make a choice, that has to do this and has to do that. And it's like, and then it feels like there's no one there. Like it's just happening, on its own. That there's no person, no efforting required. And yeah, that's it. Then when we get to feeling like that, it's like then nothing makes sense anymore. Like I'm in my, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Just
there is
life
a
is
sort of,
just,
yeah. The thing about the not making sense,
yeah,
it's kind
there's no
of
purpose
it's
to life.
kind of like, though, it makes perfect sense that it makes no sense.
Yeah,
It's like there's such an okayness with it. Doesn't make sense. This is not. It's not like a revelation of, oh God, it doesn't make sense. No, the doesn't make sense makes perfect sense that it doesn't make sense. So this is how paradoxical all of this
yes,
nonsense talk is. And the other thing I would say is, I was waiting until after the shift, then I'd know that there's no one doing anything. Now I really want to say that that's what I was waiting for, that knowledge, and that has never arrived. There is no knowledge of no one. You are waiting for something that can't happen. There isn't anyone to be no one. There isn't any
yes,
awareness of no one. There is just what's happening. And it's a mystery in that it doesn't make sense. But here's the thing. It is the most ordinary, completely, I'm lost for words for what is not mysterious, but is completely unknowable. So there is nothing. I don't use the word mystery when I speak about this. I know other speakers do sometimes. The reason I don't use mystery is because although this is unknowable and
ungraspable.
you can't actually have it, so you can't have knowledge of it, it's not mysterious. This is this whole sense of awe and wonder. The awe and wonder is in the complete ordinariness, the very simplicity of this wondrous not knowing. So although it's wondrous and although it's a mystery, it's not mysterious. It's simple and direct and undeniable. And there's no desire to know it. That's what dies. What seems to have died here is not the ability to know. I still can know relatively. I can still learn shit, but it's shit. It's relative. It's not. It's sort of like all the relative is in its place. It's absolutely worthless and relatively as valuable as it appears to be, because everything essentially is worthless. Absolutely. But of course, that doesn't deny the relative value. And here's the thing, in relationships, of course, that has massive relative value, even more than it had, I could say, before for me. So even though absolutely there's no relationships, the love in relationships is more obvious, more undeniable, more transparent. It just can't deny it at all. It's right in your face. Whereas I was always in the minutiae of relationships and what seems to be going on. Well, love isn't going on. Unconditional love isn't going on. It just is.
Yeah. And like you said to Sophie, sometimes there is a directness to this. It's like you don't want to play around with words anymore. You rather just tell the person, listen, this is how I feel, you know? And yeah. And you don't know, like, I mean, and there's also this, like, you don't want to hurt people.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I started this, okay, I said like this, like that if everything comes to an end, right? Like you're not everything trying anymore now to understand stuff and all that. But
No.
but I still have this like where I am so curious about things. The curiosity is still there. Like, why do people behave in a particular way? Why do they do that? I mean, it's supposed to like be gone, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was always interested in the why questions, and that has pretty much died.
Yeah, like I spent a whole
I can be
afternoon learning about.
interested for 5
Yeah.
minutes at a time, really. But
Yeah, I spent a whole afternoon listening to a tape on Machiavelli and how he was thinking, you know, and his thought processes and all that. And or Nietzsche and all these people. So and I start to look at these things like and it's interesting in a way. I don't know. So
oh yeah,
I do that.
oh no,
I do that.
it can still be interesting. The characters of different people.
Yeah. So yeah, although there's like you come to a stage where there's like there's seeming like no purpose to life. But it doesn't mean that that's the end of the road, like, you know, because you go back now and you start to treat it as though it is, that everything is important now. And I like what Leo Tolstoy said. He said, at the end of the day, it's just service to mankind. Although there's no such thing, you know, but in that somehow you feel this fulfillment, like, you know, like somehow, like although we know technically you cannot be helping, who are you helping and who is there
No,
to help?
I
Yeah.
yeah, I prefer John Lennon to Leo Tolstoy. There you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's a bit
There's a lightness to life. Yeah, there is a certain lightness to life, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. Like there will be times
oh
when,
no.
yeah,
No, that's no, it is lighter. The heaviness, you could say there's just as much heaviness, but the heaviness is lighter.
yeah. Somehow it feels
I could say that.
yeah, that there is a joy sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, when people say, oh, there's no pain, of course there's still pain. Like you're feeling the pain that's around you. It's like you become so sensitive to to your pain. As you know what, it's like you feel everything much more deeply, much more
Yeah,
intensely. Yeah,
it's a bit
and
more naked. But
yes,
I don't
and
like all I don't really like all the comparisons with the before and after, because I think all of them are misleading. Everything we say about
yeah,
before and after is essentially misleading, because there isn't a before and after.
yes. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I went there, but yeah, that doesn't seem right. I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem right because there's no formula.
No,
There's not
not
going to
at
be
all.
like, oh, this is the way life should be. But
Yeah,
I mean, but there are certain places where things overlap. When you look at like a religion, different religions or different groups of thought and whatever, there'll be those overlaps, sort of
can be.
like a pointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ah, thanks. I'm just
thank
going to
you.
go. I've just got to go. I'm a bit dry. I've just got to go and get a quick drink.
Okay. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Raja.
Yeah.
Lisa has a hand up.
Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
You're muted, Lisa.
Hi,
Hi, Lisa.
I was just thinking about what Shakespeare said, how, all the world is stage and we're all actors on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that. So like, I think I've been trying to figure out what my role is, this whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I really did like being a mom. And I think it gave me a lot of power
Yeah.
until my daughter disowned me. and then,
Um,
she was so much like her dad, and it was just too painful to be.
oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I say,
that is
but
painful, sure.
whatever my ego, whatever. This has been my biggest let go lately, but I think what I'm realizing, because I have to live with myself, I think that's what I realize. Like, I have to live with myself. I mean, simply
Yeah.
because I live by myself. So I've had to, I mean, I grew up with alcoholism, crazy making kind of, so for me, it's like, I don't want to be around crazy people anymore.
No.
That's how I get to, it's like, I forgot what it was like just to be simple. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't even know how to have fun. I don't even know what that is. It like bothers me when people say, oh, there's joy and, but like, that's all okay, but it's just like, it's like I'm this solo person walking on the planet. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like, and it's strange, but
But you and everyone else, Lisa.
no, I know, but some people look like they're more,
I know they look like it.
no, it's
here's
like when it's like,
they look like it, but they're not.
but I try to, because I was thinking about like fantasy, like I grew up fantasizing a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I decided that was because like I felt so much in my own world.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a dangerous place for me to go now, because it's like it disconnects me from, it's like I get off on these tangents about other people and things, and it's just, I guess I'm learning how to just be with what is. Like, it's like I could fantasize that I was a really rich person, but the fact is I'm not. I'm poor,
Yeah, that won't pay the bills.
like, but I mean, it's just, but it's like my ego has to die. It's like, man, I have to ask for help, or I have to go do something to get something, I don't like I do not like asking for, I don't get that whole thing about asking for help,
No.
which, but I actually do believe in angels. So that's one, I do talk to angels, but like this, like I was like, Archangel Michael, like, please help me, because apparently he's like the main one, who's like overseeing the whole fucking planet,
He's got his work cut out.
But then it's like, it helps for some reason, I just feel like
Yeah.
it's okay. It's just okay. The fucking angels are there,
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
Thanks, Lisa. It is okay.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Sophie has a hand up.
Hi, Sophie.
Like, yeah. I think, can you say something about aloneness?
Yeah, I can.
Because
There's
I
a-
think, I mean,
I
if I'm not
can.
mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, you're the only one who really talks about it that way.
There is only aloneness. There is this alone. So nearly every speaker talks about completeness and wholeness and doesn't speak about aloneness. Well, what is complete and whole is alone. So alone does sound like oneness. I'm really not happy with the word oneness because it sounds like one big thing, but alone is definitely, this is alone. This and this alone.
Why is it so terrifying?
Because it's only terrifying for me. So me is I'm tiny, I'm small, I'm 3 years old in a world of adults and giants. I'm this tiny little insignificant, weak, vulnerable self. So who do I need? Well, I need mummy and daddy. I need an almighty father if I can find one. I need adults. I need others to look after me. So of course, then loneliness is really terrifying to me because I'll die. The bears will get me. The wolves will get me. I'm only a little animal, so this fear of being alone is pretty universal for self because we're pack animals. So being alone, I just crave the company of others. I need my tribe, otherwise I'll die. And I don't mean of course, I'm talking about there was a time when physically you would die. You know, if you were out on the plane and you were a small child and you were left alone, you wouldn't last the day. So I just think there's a really natural instinctual fear of being alone for human beings. And that's loneliness. Now, here's the greatest paradox, probably. This complete aloneness is the end of the possibility of loneliness in the sense of how self feels it. Self feels it as an existential threat. You know, loneliness is dreadful for me. Whereas,
but at the same time, it's a need. You say it's like a natural need to be with others.
I know. I just think. I mean, it depends on personality, of course, as well. The character of it. Extroverts are very much more needy of others than introverts, of course. But introverts still feel lonely. Introvert selves will still feel the intense loneliness of I haven't got a close relationship with another self. Self desires relationship because I'm not complete. Because of this, the whole sense of separation is the sense of incompletion. So I'm only complete in relationship. And this annihilates that because there isn't anything outside of this. So there are relationships still, but they're still just apparent parts of the whole. So there are appearances of parts, but it's this alone. No doubt. There's no doubt that there isn't anything else. So the aloneness of this is, I feel, should be talked about more, without doubt. Because self is always trying to get out of myself. You know, I'm trying to escape from myself. And what I'm speaking about is the impossibility of escape. That's why it's the end of the journey. That's why it's the end of the search. You've been searching for something else. And so probably the greatest paradox, of course, is that there was never you, but there was never anything but you. So when there's no you, there's no other than you. When there's no me, there's no other than me. There really are no others.
But there's still the nature need to be with others. So that's what.
Oh,
that's,
absolutely.
yeah.
Oh no, I feel there's a complete liberation for that. So according to the character of the human being, they will have a natural desire of how much they want to be with others and how much they like you've got introvert friends who love being alone, but they still desire some company. But unlike an extrovert who needs it almost constantly, craves it, they like it about once a week. So what I'm talking about is a liberation for that natural preference that each human being you don't have to know anything about it. It is what you are. It's not yours. Your preferences are not yours. A human being naturally prefers what it prefers, just like a dog does. You've just claimed all this and tried to manage it. Well, this is the end of the trying to manage it. It's okay. So you may well cry and cry and cry when it's obvious that you have been trying to manage what requires no management. The human being that you've called yourself requires no management whatsoever. It will naturally do what it does, what it seems to do. You've been saying, that's good, that's bad. There is no such thing. And the good and bad you were taught, you're heavily conditioned to think some of me is good, but a lot of it is shit, and it needs constant vigilance. Otherwise, I will fall into, well, I'll just be fucking useless. Well, I'm talking myself there. I need to keep on. If I don't keep on top of me, there's no one else who's going to do it. My mother's long gone. She used to nag me constantly, but now it's my job wholly. I have to be on my case to make sure that I'm. And by the way, I don't know how it is for yourself, but that is just to be barely adequate, not to be anything good or special, but just to be acceptable, to be an accepted self. Self is so terrified of rejection. And what we're speaking about is the impossibility of rejection. There is no rejection from here.
So in that case, because I think that the pain of feeling rejected is one of the most painful pain. Like it's really so.
Yeah.
So it's not there anymore. It's just vanished, or it's still coming back.
No, well, no. Rejection would hurt maybe more than ever.
Oh.
No, here's the thing, but it's not. But there's not the fear of it because it's not going to say anything about me.
Oh.
But if I know I'd be the last. The last thing I would ever say is you're in love with someone and they reject you and you're not going to feel any pain. Don't be so fucking ridiculous. And if anyone, that's kind of spiritual bypassing bullshit.
This is so good to hear. Really.
Well, no, it would be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more painful, but it's not saying anything about me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas, of course, it would have been. What did I do wrong? What could I have changed? What do I need to change now? How do I keep myself? A lot of it is a lot of self's activities is keeping myself from the natural pain of being human. Because I don't want to feel that. And this is the impossibility. This is saying, it's not saying bring it on, but it's like, well, there's no hiding place anymore. There's a lot of the sense of self is a hiding place. The illusion of control, the illusion that I can manage it and I can box things and put them in places and know where things are. All of that, you know, that is just to keep me safe from pain. And no. Why would you not want to feel the full? Well, the reason why is because if I don't want to, it's dangerous to me. Me says it would kill me. Well, here's the thing: emotional pain never killed anyone. No. But to self says it's incredibly dangerous. Sorrow, grief, rejection, broken heart. Fucking painful, though.
That doesn't go away.
No. Well, no, it does go away. It appears and it goes away. You know that. Everyone knows that. Emotions and feelings just come and go like the weather.
Tim, last thing about the aloneness, like you meant that like while being with your parent other, there is still this aloneness. That's what you meant, like in shortly, like.
Yeah, there can be no doubt that there is an appearance of relationship and there are feelings just maybe more intense than ever, but there can't be the pretense of absolute that there is any other. No, the relationship is the wholeness, is the aloneness. I can't know you, Sophie, and I can. There's no. You could maybe you can still pretend that you could know me. What seems to have happened here is that I can't pretend that anymore. No one can see me, and no one can see you. No one's ever seen you. No one will see you. No one could see you.
Sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible. To me, it is terrible. And yeah, of course, that's enormously liberating because it's the end of self-awareness. It's the end of self-consciousness. You can't look in my eyes and see me, Sophie. That's your delusion.
This is so amazing. Incredible.
You just think that's what we do. We look at each other and we look into each other's eyes and we go and we pretend. It's a total pretense. We pretend we see each other. We do not.
This is
And
so
you will laugh. You will probably cry as well because there's a great grieving. You think how hard you've tried to do this especially in romantic relationships, but you did it with your friends. You do it with everyone. And I mean, it does feel like a great loss. But of course it's not, because it was never true. So it's not there is no loss in it whatsoever, but it may well feel like a huge loss. But it's actually really beautiful because then you see the human being. I don't see you, I see the human being. And then if you see the human being, there's just wonderfully open compassion for being human. And the selves don't get a look in. They don't get any say. They can fuck off. Oh, I bet. Thanks, Sophie. I better let Nicola. She's had her hand up for a long time.
I was just going to say to him just quickly as well, there's that feeling as well, if you gaze into someone's eyes, you feel like you see this alone. You can't see it, obviously, but there is a
No,
feeling. But
you can.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you can get a feeling of seeing the other, and you can get a feeling of seeing this alone. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But of course,
At the same time, almost.
yeah, it could be. But of course, I mean, this is the thing. It just doesn't matter. None of it means.
No, it's just a story.
It can be really beautiful, but
It
it
is
doesn't.
beautiful.
It
I mean,
doesn't matter what. Doesn't
I'm
matter
sat
what
here
story you
listening to
tell.
you talking about aloneness and this alone, and it's just like blissfully, just lovely. It's like, oh, that's so lovely.
No, that is. all the peace that passes all in understanding, is that there isn't anything else. There is this alone.
It's
That's the peace. It's just like,
gorgeous.
oh God, just rest.
Mm. But
Just
sometimes
rest.
sometimes it's just so nice.
Sometimes it's nice, sometimes
And
it's
sometimes
painful.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it's just as it is.
Yeah. So
But
simple.
it is outrageous in the simplicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see what Nicola would like to say.
Hi everyone. Hi Tim. I actually
Hi,
come
Nicola.
a lot, but mostly it's just to express the relief that is felt here with this, and after many years of trying, and there's still trying that happens, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's such a relief, and I've always been a crier and a feeler, I suppose, in the me, and that's just become even more.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I mean, I like to watch The Voice. You know The Voice.
Me too.
I love to watch The Voice on YouTube, and I cry all the time because of the trying that goes on.
Me too.
And it's so touching, this humanness that
Absolutely.
and
Yeah. Everything
everybody
makes.
thinks I'm ridiculous for it, but I that's just
No,
it.
I'm terrible for a talent show now. I watch Britain's Got Talent. I watch The Voice. I watch, yeah. What's the other one? Britain's Got
Anyway.
But you know, when you see somebody and they go, this means the world to me, they can't. It's impossible not to be touched by it now.
God, just down
Because
to the
we've
bone.
all, every child, children trying, my kids trying, I can be moved to tears so easily, because that's all of us, the futility, because of course there is no point in becoming a fucking The Voice celebrity, but the beautiful humanness of trying.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful quality.
It is, yeah.
And I'm feeling I have a lot more tenderness for the trying that has gone on for so many years here,
Yeah, absolutely.
and still happens, and it really is really is love, and I'm really
Thanks,
grateful for this message. It's very reassuring.
Thanks, Nicola. Well, that's good. That's great that you
Oh,
say
and I
that.
wanted to give a little is it to Lisa? Should she go? No, Lisa.
Yeah.
I live alone too. Well, I do live with two smelly dogs, but other than that, and I was listening to something the other day, and they were saying, it was Joe Dispenza, you know that guy. He was saying that the happiest, most healthy people are women who live alone. I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, definitely not the men who live alone. They're the smelliest, though. They're smellier than your dogs.
Oh, I don't know about that. Not the old one, maybe. But anyway, thank you.
Oh,
Nice to be
thanks,
here.
Nicola. Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks. Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'll give a quick plug at the end to say I've booked my weekend in Berlin for the. Now I'm thinking. It's on my website. Second week in September. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you fancy a weekend in Spandau in Berlin, it's beautiful. It's a nice time to go there. I've gone in September rather than August because Berlin's outrageously hot in August. But yeah, the details are on my website if you're interested in a lovely weekend of talking about pointlessness and meaninglessness and drinking too much coffee and maybe a bit too much German beer. Anyway, thanks, Darren. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Thanks, Tim.
Lovely to see you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tim.
Oh, thanks, everyone.
You.